Bhagavatam chapter 15. Can you hear me all?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So we are reading from Bhagavatam chapter 50, text 18 onwards. Text 18. It's chapter 50. Krishna establishes the city of Dwarka. Chapter 13. Text 18. Tavarama yadi shraddha yuddhasva dhairyam udvavaha hitva vamacharais chinnam deham swaryahi mam jahi. Word by word meaning. Tava, your, Rama, or Balarama, yadi, if, Shraddha, confidence, Yudhyasva, fight, Dhairyam, courage, Udvaha, take up, Hitva, leaving aside, Va, either, Mat, my, Sharai, by the arrows, Chinnam, cut to pieces, Deham, your body, Swa, to heaven, Yahi, go, Mam, or else me, Jahi, kill. Translation. You, Rama, should gather your courage and fight with me. If you think you can do it, you may either give up your body when it is cut to pieces by my arrows and thus attain to heaven, or else kill me. Purport. According to Acharya Sridhara Swami, Jarasandha suspected that Lord Balram's body was indestructible, and thus he offered what might be a more practical alternative, that is, Balram kill Jarasandha. Text 19. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Navaisura Vikattatante Darsayanti Eva Paurusam Nagrihnimo Vacho Rajan Aturasya Mumursataha. What word meaning? Sri Bhagavan Vacha, the Supreme Lord said, no, do not. Why? Indeed. Suraha, heroes. Vikatante, boast vainly. Darsayanti, they show. Eva, simply. Paurusham, the prowess, their prowess. Nahagrihni maha, we do not accept. Vachaha, the words. Rajan, O king. Aturasya, of one who is mentally agitated. Mursataha, who is about to die. Translation. The Supreme Lord said, real heroes do not simply boast, but rather show their prowess in action. We cannot take seriously the words of one who is full of anxiety and who wants to die. Text 20. Sri Sukha Uvacha Jarasutas Abhistraya Madhavau Mahabalau Gahena Baliya Swarnot Sasainyaya Yana Dvaja Vaji Sharatihi Suryanalau Vayur Ivabra Renubihi. Word by word meaning. Sri Sukha Vacha, Sukadeva Goswami said, Jara Sutaha, the son of Jara, Tau, the two of them, Abhistriya, going up to, Madhavav, the descendants of Madhu, Maha, great, Bala, of military prowess, Ogena, with a flood, Paliyasa, powerful, Avrnot, surrounded, Sa, with, Sainya, soldiers, Yana, the sun, Analav, and the fire, Vayu, the wind, Iva, as, Abra, by clouds, Renubihi, and by particles of dust. Translation. Sukadeva Goswami said, just as the wind covers the sun with clouds or a fire with dust, the son of Jara marched towards the two descendants of Madhu, and with his huge assemblage of army surrounded them and their soldiers, chariots, flags, horses, and charioteers. Purport: Acharya Sridhara points out that clouds only seem to cover the sun. The sun remains shining in the vast sky, nor is the potency of fire affected by a thin covering of dust. Similarly, the covering of Jarasandha's military strength was only apparent. Text 21, the last verse we are reading today. Suparnatala dvaja chihnitau ratva alakshayantyo hari ramayor mrude sriya purattalaka harmya gopuram samastrita sammumuhu suchaditaha. Suparna, with the symbol of Garuda, the bird who carries Lord Vishnu, Tala, and a palm tree, Dvaja, by the banners, Chinitau, marked, Ratau, the two chariots, Alakshayantaha, Yantya, not identifying, Hariramo, of Krishna and Balram, Mrude, in the battle, Striya, women, Pura, of the city, Attalaka, in the watchtowers, Harmya, palaces, Gopuram, and in the gateways, Samashtritaha, have taken positions, Sammumuhu, fainted, Sucha, by grief, Ardita, tormented. The woman stood in the watchtowers, palaces, and high gates of the city. When they could no longer see Krishna or Balram's chariots, identified by banners marked with the emblems of Garuda and a palm tree, they were struck with grief and fainted. Purport: the women are especially mentioned here because of their extraordinary attachment to Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram. Hare Krishna. Now for prayers. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurummilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Sha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. We are reading in this chapter how Jarasandha has come to Mathura to attack the Yadavas, and Krishna and Balaram preparing to fight Jarasandha. So we see in this verse 18, Jarasandha is telling that, oh Rama, you Rama should gather your courage and fight with me. If you think you can do it, you may either give up your body when it cut to pieces by my arrows and thus attain to heaven, or else kill me. So we see Jarasandha here. He has assembled 23 Akshavanis of armies. A vast number it is. It's in millions of soldiers in different horses and elephants and all. 23 becomes a big number. So he approached Mathura city to kill Krishna. Why? Because his son-in-law, Kamsa, is killed by Krishna. He has two daughters. So we read that in the earlier verses. So he wants to take revenge for his daughter's misery. So he has come with his great army, and because of the strength of his army and his own strength, he is very fearless here. So he's telling that, he has come. He said, he else will kill me. He even if he wants, he will get killed in the battlefield. He's fearless. So we see that this is one of the quality of Jarasandha here he exhibiting is fearlessness. But his fearlessness is in the mode of ignorance. Why? Because he is fighting against Krishna and Balram, who are the supreme lords, who possess all six opulences, and one of that opulence is strength. So Jarasandha's strength also coming from Krishna. So it's fighting against the source of all strength. So it's natural that he will be killed. That's what purport Sridhar Swami is telling, that the only alternative would be here is Balaram will kill Jarasandha. But because of his attachment to his family, to his daughters, he's not seeing that. At the same time, he's very fearless here. So that is called fearlessness in mode of ignorance. Now we see many people in this fearlessness mode, but in fearlessness mode of ignorance. They are fearless because of their strength or because of their prowess, but it's not permanent. It is borrowed property. Strength and prowess is coming from the Lord. It's not our own. But as the old age disease comes, one will lose their strength. They can't even stand up. We see that. So many people in this world are fearless, especially sometimes, those who are in mafia and all, they are very fearless. They are ready to kill. At the same time, they get killed also. But they are fearless. But this fearlessness is in the mode of ignorance. And also we see some fearless in mode of passion, like soldiers. Of course, not all current armies, not all soldiers are fearless. They're very fearful of war, many. But some soldiers are some fearless. They want to go and fight, and they are very fearless. Even if they die, they feel that glorious. They're very fearless. They go on to fight any war comes for their country. So that fearlessness is in mode of passion. So they have a cause. They have a cause of protecting their country. But it is all depends on, because the wars happen because of political reasons, because of somebody's ego to satisfy or got hurt. It's political reasons, many. So many wars happen. But in their people, they are passionate about it because of their country. At the same time, we also see fearlessness in goodness. Like we see Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj, 5-year-old boy, he is also fearless. So his father, Hiranyakashipu, tried to kill him in many ways. He tried to kill him in all possible ways that were available to kill a person. From poisoning to burning to throwing from the cliff and to submerging in water, so many things. Everything very detailed explained in 7th canto. But Prahlad Maharaj is fearless. Why? Because he took shelter of Krishna. He's always remembering Krishna, and then he's in the consciousness where if Krishna wants to protect me, then he'll protect me. Nobody can harm. And Krishna doesn't want to protect me, then it's okay. Mare Krishna Rakhe ke, Rakhe Krishna Mare ke. Prabhupada says that. So Prahlad Maharaj is fearless. Hiranyakashipu with vast army and with all, he became fearful. Prahlad Maharaj, that if I can't kill this boy, then how will I survive? He became fearful. Prahlad Maharaj was harmless. He didn't have any weapon. He didn't even say a single word, like a harsh word to Hiranyakashipu. All he did is he practiced his devotional service and he was fearless. He is fearless. But Hiranyakashipu, with all his army, with all this thing, seeing that Prahlad Maharaj is not fearful, he became fearful. And then he is asking, where is your strength coming from? Then Prahlad Maharaj says, same place from where you are getting. And we know how Narsingadev appeared and killed Hiranyakashipu. So Prahlad Maharaj is completely fearless. Even after killing Hiranyakashipu, Narsingadev appeared in a very ferocious form. Very, very ferocious form. We can't even imagine how ferocious Ugra form is. So very ferocious form, Narsingadev appeared. So when he appeared and killed all the Hiranyakashipu and his soldiers, his anger didn't subside. So Brahmaji came and all demigods came. They didn't want even go in front of him. Brahmaji asked Lakshmi Devi, hey, Lakshmi Devi, can you go and pacify the Lord? Lakshmi Devi also says, I never saw this form of my husband, I can't go in front of him. So nobody wanted to go in front of Lord because he is so fearful. And then Brahmaji asked Prahlad Maharaj only, Prahlad, you go. Lord appeared for you. And Prabhupada, in a very humble, in humility, he approaches Lord and he says, oh, Lord, I am born from Asura family and I am demonic and all. But you have kindly appeared. So he prays. Narsingadev, small 5-year-old boy, where Brahma and all the demigods, they were all fearful, but he is fearless. So Prahlad Maharaj is always fearless because his fearlessness is in the mode of goodness. That is, fearlessness by the strength of the Supreme Lord. We also see Prabhupada's name is A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, A.C. Abhayacharan. Abhayacharan Bhaktivedanta Swami. His name is Abhayacharan. So Abhay means fearless. How fearless? Prabhupada is fearless. Abhay, Prabhupada mentioned that because he has taken shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna. So Prabhupada is also very fearless. Otherwise, at the age of 70, alone coming on a cargo ship in this wild city, and then as Prabhupada writes in his diary, when he got off the cargo ship, he didn't know go to left or turn right. Very fearless, right? It is, why would anybody risk their life at the age of 70? Even if he was being warned that don't go to Sumati Maharaj was warned him, if you go, you will die there. If you go, so one may think he is just on his own strength. No, Prabhupada is telling Bhagavatam wants to go. Krishna in his literary incarnation of this Kali Yuga, Bhagavatam wants to go and preach and wants to preach in the Western country. So I am just accompanying Bhagavatam. So that was his mood, Prabhupada's mood. And then he came and then fearless he is. So Prabhupada, could anybody seeing Prabhupada could see that, how he is, how fearless he is. And then he had completely depend on Krishna. So we see Jarasandha in more fearlessness in mode of ignorance because of his own prowess and the strength of his military and all. And then the devotee like Prahlad and Prabhupada, we see, who are also fearless, but because of the strength from Krishna. So those who are fearless in the mode of ignorance, they are going to perish. So it is like when the death comes, they all perish. Like here also, it's not Jarasandha. Ultimately, he dies. Now we see in ahead chapters 17 times Krishna doesn't kill him. He defeats him and sends him away. He comes back 17 times attacking Krishna. But later, Jarasandha is killed by Bhima actually. So those who are fearless in their ignorance, with their own prowess, they are ultimately going to die in this material world. But a fearful death. The thing is, they may think they are very fearless, now because of their strength and all, but they will realize that all their strength is useless, of whatever reason, because of the old age, this is a thing. When death comes, they become fearful. So the fearlessness in mode of ignorance doesn't last. Ultimately, they become fearful, and then their fear is compared, like like the rat in the mouth of a cat. How when a cat catches a rat, the rat becomes very fearful because now death is there, and then they don't want to die. At the same time, a devotee also is fearless in many aspects. We see many devotees who have some terminal disease, but they they are always chanting Krishna's name. And then recently we heard about His Holiness um, forgetting. No, like he didn't want to even take any. He has cancer and he didn't want to take any painkillers. He always chant because painkillers will make one drowsy. So he kept chanting and then he left his body. So we see that devotees' fearlessness is from the strength of Krishna. So how it is, one has transcend from fearlessness in it. First of all, most of us in this world are fearful. Many people are fearful of so many reasons. But ones who take shelter of Krishna, they become fearless in mode of goodness. So that is the ultimate we should aim, we should look for, is that how we can be fearless by taking shelter of Krishna. Because every one of us may have a lot of fears, or unnecessary fears. But some who are like so many people, they work hard, they earn money, and they keep, they have a house here, they have bank balance, they have so much, and they have their strength is their money and wealth, and they are fearless. They think that their money will protect, and they are very fearless. They are like arrogant and fearless. That is fearlessness in passion. But ultimately, when death comes, so their wealth cannot protect or their power cannot protect. So the right way to be fearless is by taking shelter of Krishna, by chanting his holy names, and to achieve that fearlessness by taking shelter of Krishna. Here also in the verse 21 purport, we see it's mentioned here that the women who were standing on the watchtowers in Mathura, when they saw that Krishna and Balram's chariot gets covered by the dust, so they no longer could see Krishna and Balram chariots. They were on this watchtowers, they are watching this huge army when it marched towards Krishna and Balram with their arrows, and when they start this fighting, Krishna and Balram's chariot they no longer could see. And then they became fearful, the woman, and they fainted. So this fear is out of attachment to the Supreme Lord, extreme attachment, extraordinary attachment, extreme attachment to the Supreme Lord. So that is also it's an expression of love for Krishna. They are not actually fearful. They got fainted because they are in the pastime. Krishna and Balram, it's a pastime for them, but they are totally in the pastime, and they are experiencing. It's like a play, but they are experiencing. So Krishna and Balram, they are like, it's like a play for them. They are the supreme lords with all strength, and this battle and this army, it is like a child's play, but they're experiencing that. So when this Kalayavana comes to fight, it comes ahead in the chapters. So Kalayavana, he is very he has mystical powers. So when fighting with Krishna, he brings Krishna's for Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, and Krishna. So Vasudev, sorry, he brings Vasudev in his mystical form and beheads Vasudev in front of Krishna. And Krishna really sees that, oh, is my father had his behead, and then he becomes kind of affected by that. So we see that Krishna, even though it's in pastime, he's relishing the pastime. So like that, out of that, this woman also, because of their attachment, they are relishing that pastime that, oh, Krishna disappeared. That is in fear. So one of the 12 rasas are there serving Krishna. One is in the fear also. So, but it is all favorable. Their fear is favorable to Krishna, but Jarasanda's fearlessness is unfavorable to Krishna. But still, Krishna, because here Jarasandha called out Rama, Balram's holy name, and then he dies in front of Krishna and Balram later, he also achieves the liberation. But his position is, while dying, he was fearful. So we just, okay, we have some time. So as a devotee, we need to see, so how to come out of this fearfulness. There's no other way, by our own strength, by our knowledge, by our wealth, by our uh, friends, society, country strength, and all. We can never become fearless. The only way to become fearless is by taking shelter of Krishna, like how our acharyas have taught us, how Prahlad Maharaj, Prabhupada, and all other acharyas, they taught us how, by taking shelter of Krishna and putting Krishna, by accepting Krishna's plan. So, so we may have our own plan, but Krishna has his own plan. So we go with Krishna's plan. So we may want some things. So we see that we may get it, sometimes we may not get it. So we need to just accept it as Krishna's plan. And then we have to have that fearless that Krishna will take care of me in either way. Prabhupada mentions that Krishna is taking care of atheists also. Krishna is taking care of all living entities. Why will not he take care of his devotees? So he may not be taking care the way we want, but definitely Krishna takes care of his devotees. In the best possible way. We may not be knowing what we want is good for us or not, but Krishna, as loving Father, Aham Bija Pradapita, Krishna is giving Father for all living entities. So he knows exactly what we should have, what we should not, and then he provides that. So Krishna says, "No, I provide what my devotees lack, and I preserve what they have." So we need to have that, that. So we should preserve our devotional service. We should preserve our service to Krishna. We should always see that how to protect that. So as long as we are serving Krishna and worshipping Krishna in the form of chanting his holy name, in the form of doing the 9 process of devotional service. So as long as we are doing that, we can remain fearless. Otherwise, no other way in this world to become fearless. So even death comes, it will be like a cat holding kitten in its mouth. A devotee also, he will also leave his body. But the consciousness of the devotee is that, okay, it's like the kitten, small baby cat, how mother holds in its mouth and then takes from one place to another. So like that, a devotee sees that death, Krishna has come in the form of this death to take me to his spiritual world. So that is the stage one should aspire for to achieve, where we are fearless even for death. But we see that how Prabhupada, even on his deathbed, he is translating Bhagavatam. He's completely fearless. So he didn't take any medication. He stopped even eating and drinking. So he said, I have given up eating, mating, sleeping, the 4 things, what every human being has. Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Prabhupada says, I gave up all that. So he's completely taken shelter of Krishna and completely he went Krishna's word. So Prabhupada has taught us how to live this life of fearlessness at every moment till the last exam. So that is the way to achieve fearlessness, not by with our own prowess like how Jarasandha is. Ultimately, he got killed. Hare Krishna. So we have some time for discussion.
Hare Krishna, wonderful class. It's interesting how you were saying that Krishna's protection may not appear the way we want it, and how you were saying that a devotee is even thinking, even if it appears as death, they're not even afraid of death. And we see even Jarasandha, this Kshatriya spirit, they're so convinced and dedicated to to this battle that they're willing to die. And we were reading a little while ago in the Bhagavatam where it says, we cannot be fearless unless we're totally surrendered. We cannot be loving unless we're totally surrendered. We can have some service, we can be partially involved in devotional service, but unless we're fully absorbed in devotional service, we will not be completely fearless, because there's something else that we want. And the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that everyone is born into delusion based on desire and hate. I want this. I don't want that. And as long as we have this, I want this and I don't want that, we're not totally surrendered, and therefore we will not be fearless. It's my own attachments or aversions, my own selfish attachments or aversions that keep us from being completely free from fear. You pointed out so nicely, taking full shelter of Krishna, full shelter of Krishna. We have an umbrella, but we're only holding it over to the side, then we're still going to get wet. You have to be completely surrendered, take complete shelter, and then we have nothing to protect, nothing to gain, nothing to lose. Do with me as you like, Lord, even if you handle me roughly by your embrace. I have no one but Krishna as my Lord. Anyway, this is what Bhagavatam is pointing to, and our tendency is to get stuck in a preliminary stage of devotional service where we're doing something in devotional service, but not totally surrendered. Maharaj was speaking yesterday about how if we're not taking shelter of Krishna completely, then we'll be taking shelter of something else. My boss, the government, my paycheck. Prabhupada says, oh, there's this coming, let me embrace my wife. You know that thing he says. And we're looking for something else for our satisfaction besides full surrender to Krishna. And it's ridiculous. So we need to hear and hear and hear. And then we want to fully surrender. And that's perfect. And Madan Gopal gave this class a little while ago. He said, if even once, even casually, we just say, Krishna, I'm yours. Krishna, I'm yours. Then Krishna will work out all the details. And if we do our humble best today, Krishna is satisfied. It's not that we have to compare ourselves to anybody else. But we must remember the standard. There's a tendency to say, oh, do not preach this aitukiya pratiyata. Do not mention unceasing, unmotivated devotional service. Other people will be uncomfortable, But why not preach what Bhagavatam says? Why not repeat what we've heard from our spiritual master? And then aspire for it. And then whatever degree or time it takes for it to manifest, that's Krishna's arrangement for us. Anyway, I'm only repeating things you've said already. I'll go to Prabhupada, Krishna.
Anyone else has some reflections, questions, chastisements, corrections?
Bhima Prabhu has his hand up.
Haribol Prabhu, can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. Very wonderful class. It's so nice to hear just in the resonance of the voice of somebody from somebody who's completely convinced of what they're talking about. And it is in these times especially, this understanding to become free from fear is very important. Time seems to be speeding up for us all. Things are happening in the world. If you pay attention, of course, Prabhupada, or was it Bhaktisiddhanta? Could you tell me, Prabhu, was it Prabhupada or Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati who was making pakoras when the bombs were dropping?
It's Prabhupada. So
Yeah.
World War II, and then bombs were
Yes.
dropping. So Prabhupada said he didn't have a bunker, and so he didn't have a. Many were going and hiding bunker. To hide in bunker, they have to go somewhere else. So he was. So he said, so this is the plan now. I tried my best, but I can't protect completely. So he was just dependent on Krishna, and then he's trying the pakoras because he wants to offer to Krishna, not to enjoy, but he wants to give regularly. He's cooking and offering to Krishna every day. So he's going on with his service basically.
Yeah, one can envision that. That's a real easy one to envision. Prabhupada in his dhoti going from one countertop to the frying pan while bombs are dropping and everyone's running. And Prabhupada says, if Krishna has a bomb for me, and if a bomb is meant to drop on me, then that's Krishna. The bombs are Krishna. So it's a wild thing to envision that, to have that as Prabhupada being the Acharya, to have that as our example, that coming up pretty quick, we're going to be having a lot of this, a lot of things that we might have to fear. We had recently went through a very surrealistic time with COVID, and we're due for a lot more coming right around the corner. Of this, I'll say no more. But I think the big thing is how are we going to handle it? That's the big thing. We can't stop the fire. We can't stop the forest fire. We can't stop Kali Yuga. The big thing, and this is what I'm learning, is exactly what you were talking about. If Prahlad, a little boy, can be like tortured and abused by his father, and just have his hands folded and just remembering Krishna. There's a little pastime, and I'll end it here. When Prahlad was thrown off the cliff, it is said, I can't remember which Goswami wrote it in their expository notes of Prahlad's pastimes, but and you can, Prabhu, if you know more specifically about this pastime, when Prahlad was thrown off the cliff, Prahlad was holding on to his heart so that when he landed, Krishna within his heart wouldn't get hurt. So Prahlad was worried about Krishna in his heart getting hurt when he was being thrown off the cliff. And this is that type of absolute connection to Krishna in times of trouble, that you're always thinking about Krishna, and that you always have that faith that Krishna's there, that he's got things under control. That's the big thing, is to understand that Krishna, despite all the chaos around us, despite the Kurukshetra of our everyday life, that Krishna is giving us a chance to remember him, giving us a chance to reveal through our actions our connection with him, and give us a chance to embrace him, like a little child embracing a father for protection from this big scary world. So thank you very much, Prabhu, for a wonderful class. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, it's a nice point to mention of how Prahlad Maharaj is like holding his heart. So that's a devotee, a pure devotee comes to surrender to Krishna. And that devotee is seeing always to how to serve Krishna. In that mode, whatever Vasalya mode or Madhurya mode, like that. So they are not worried about themselves, but to serve Krishna. We see this pastime also where once in Dwaraka, Krishna is telling, I have a headache. And then Narada Muni comes there. And then he asked everyone that the only cure for my headache is if somebody if some devotee, any devotee of my devotee, gives the dust from their feet, and I smear the dust on my head, then my headache will go. So he said that in Dwarka, all these queens are there, so many devotees of Krishna are there, and they all said, how can we do that? If we give our dust from our feet, we'll go to hell because you are Supreme Lord. How can we give our dust from our feet and to your head? So we'll go to hell. So they all refrained from giving their dust. And then later, Narada Muni comes. Even Krishna's Narada Muni replies, same, how can I give my dust? And Narada says, can you go to Vrindavan and ask the gopis there? Check them or ask them whether they can give their dust. So Narada Muni goes to Vrindavan and then he asks the gopis, Krishna has a headache. And then Gopi says, oh, Krishna has a headache. What can we do? Why he has to suffer? What can we do? Then, then Narada Muni says, Krishna says, if any of his devotees give their dust from their feet, then his headache will go. Immediately, gopis went on the bank of Yamuna there in the sand. They dipped their feet, smeared all the dust, and then collected. Then they laid down a cloth, and then from their feet they removed the dust and a huge pile of dust they collected in a cloth and gave to Narada Muni and said, "Go quickly for Krishna's headache. Go and apply this on his head." Then Narada says, "Gopis, you look like you look like uneducated. You are uneducated, it looks like, but your brain's also not working. You are not intelligent enough. Don't you know? If you put your dust on Krishna's feet, you'll go to hell." Gopis say that it doesn't matter. We are ready to suffer in hell for eternity if that makes Krishna to relieve his headache even for a moment. Gopis say that. So that is the consciousness of gopis, where they are. It's a fearlessness in Shuddha Sattva. It is like fearlessness in above mode of goodness. That is in pure goodness, where they are like want to just serve Krishna, where they are not concerned about what will happen to them. So that is a very high level in gopis stage. It is all. At least we should come to try fearless in goodness, where the Krishna, you are protecting me, Krishna's shelter, the fearlessness in Krishna's shelter. Hare Krishna.
Sundarnath Prabhu, what did Srila Prabhupada say when the devotees asked him, Srila Prabhupada, what do you feel while chanting?
I don't know, many times Prabhupada said different things. What he says, you can tell.
Yeah, I'm looking for a particular answer that is pertinent to today's discussion. Who knows what Srila Prabhupada said when they asked him, Prabhupada, what do you feel when you're chanting? What did Prabhupada say?
Fearless.
I feel no fear. Yeah, that's right. He said, I feel no fear. That was the answer he gave. So
Also,
thank you.
Prabhupada also, when he came and was intensely praying for deities, and devotees asked, Prabhupada, what are you praying for? Prabhupada is telling, I'm praying that, I'm praying that Maya, please protect me. I'm fearful of Maya. And he's praying that, please protect me from Maya. Krishna, please protect me from Maya. I'm very fearful of Maya. So, Prabhupada even, he says, that fearful of Maya. So, devotees should be fearful also, but fearful of Maya.
Jai. Sundarnath Prabhu ki Jai. Thank you for unpacking fearlessness from all angles, for making us fearless while driving. It doesn't mean that we're reckless or arrogant or stupid. It means we're surrendered to Krishna. And Mulidar ki Jai.
Oh, another music. Govindam Hari Purusham Maham Sami Govindam Hari Purusham Maham Sami Govindam Hari Purusham Maham Sami Yavriti Asyanti Pan Paryanti Tiram Nati Anadati Maya Sadhu Vala Vigrahasya Govinda Hari Purusham Dami Govinda Hari Purusham Amaham Dami Govinda Amaham Dami.
Okay, thank you, Sundarnath Das Prabhu. Thank you, Adipurusha Prabhu, for giving us darshan of the deities. Our dear Ananda Bihari Prabhu has dropped out. I think as he was driving, Krishna was like, no more. So we're going to finish class here, unless Gautam Ghosh Prabhu, you have your hand up. Do you have a question or something you would like to share before we finish?
Yes. Very Hare Krishna, very wonderful devotional class. So I just want to know, Maya and Chaitanya is the same things.
So I'm sorry, you said Maya and what?
Chaitanya.
Chaitanya.
Yeah.
Maybe
is the
Krishna
relation?
Prabhu can know what you're referring to? Can anybody else answer his question? If not, we can always leave it for the speaker for tomorrow, Prabhu. So maybe if you can write it in the chat for tomorrow, and then we can ask the speaker tomorrow if there isn't anybody here who can answer.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
That's a great question. I'm sure we're going to be able to unpack it tomorrow. Okay, so thank you, Gautam Ghosh Prabhu. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, everyone who participated, either just by attending or by asking questions or, speaking. So we appreciate you all so much, and we hope that you can join us for Srimad Bhagavatam class tomorrow, because Srimad Bhagavatam class is every day, all day. Somewhere Srimad Bhagavatam class is happening all day. Okay, Haribo.